Thursday, May 6, 1999. Police suspended, a club shut down just hours after Fox 5 blows the lid off the rave scene. We have live team coverage of this amazing fallout. Then stay tuned for tonight's
Fox 5 hidden camera investigation of the rave scene in D.C. that documented rampant designer drug use.
And what seemed to be the blind eye turned to it by off-duty D.C. police officers in uniform working at the club. Fox 5's Elizabeth Leamy joins us now with more on today's explosive fallout from this story. Elizabeth.
First of all, the phones have been ringing since the minute our investigation hit the air last night. We've handled hundreds of calls from neighbors, ravers, mothers, and we got reaction from people who can do something about this, too. The cops and the D.C. Council.
In 4 Fridays undercover at Buzz, we were offered marijuana, methamphetamine, ketamine, and the rave scene's defining drug, ecstasy, or E.
There's a lot of things going around tonight. There's elephants, there's diamonds, there's
What are diamonds? This is totally different lingo.
It's just different types of E.
Discarded pills and powders litter the tabletops. Our hidden camera captured this guy snorting a white powder. Here's another raver smoking pot.
So I'm like,
We quickly learned that the ecstasy users suck on pacifiers because the drug makes you grind your teeth.
That's because they're feet on E.
Ecstasy users enhance their high by inhaling Vicks vapor. They blow it into each other's eyes, noses, and mouths. Some ravers smear Vicks inside surgical masks and breathe it all night long.
Feels so cool.
Ecstasy gives you a heightened sense of touch. That's why users rock in each other's arms, assume bizarre positions to crack their backs, and bring vibrating massagers to the club.
The reason I'm touching you is because it feels good. It's like tingly.
But ecstasy can make you feel bad, too. This girl was sitting in a pool of her own vomit and told us she got a bad dose. We watched another teenager carried out of the club unconscious by friends desperate to revive her. Councilwoman Carol Schwartz watched our story.
And I was not aware that those kinds of activities were going on in our city with police officers standing by. So I found it to be a very dramatic portrayal of something I don't want to see in the future.
That's right. Off-duty D.C. cops provide security at the club. But they rarely venture into the far-flung corners. Instead, the officers stay next to the back door and wait for private bouncers to bring problem people to them. And speaking of inaction, one officer witnessed the scene where the girl was carried out of the club unconscious. Here's what he said about it.
What happened to that girl?
Yeah, they took her home.
What was wrong with her?
Probably a little too much ecstasy and a little too much drinking.
And I'm very, very disturbed about this, and I want to see that there's an investigation of this and any measures necessary to be taken are taken.
The line of respect and restraint between police and patrons is badly blurred here. This is Officer Mark Nasser kissing a young woman he met at the club.
And I'm wondering if you can tell me a good explanation for why you have been here making out at the club while there are kids in every corner doing all sorts of drugs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have it on tape.
Police Chief Charles Ramsey vows there will be a full internal investigation. Our investigation became the subject of his monthly call-in show on WTOP radio.
The only way to describe it is incredibly embarrassing, not only for me as the police chief here, but for any member of my department who saw that. They ought to feel.
The 4 officers shown in our report have been yanked off the street and given desk jobs while Internal Affairs investigates. They are also totally barred from doing any moonlighting jobs right now. No Metropolitan Police officers are being allowed to work security at Nation during this investigation. Reaction to our investigation has been immediate and intense.
We know the chief really wanted the council to get moving on this business about moonlighting, officers moonlighting at clubs that serve liquor. Well, it's an embarrassing way to get it moving.
Yes, I think there's definitely sort of double emotions here. On the one hand, there's the embarrassment that officers were doing this on his watch, but on the other hand, he seems to be using this as a tool to get what he wants, which is the right to say no moonlighting at alcohol establishments.
An opportunity. All right, Elizabeth, thank you for that update. Well, we did receive a statement from the management of Nation, and here it is. The management says that it is deeply embarrassed and deeply disturbed by last night's Fox 5 report. The situations reported were all associated with the Friday night Buzz rave promotion at Nation. We are not aware of any complaints or problems regarding events at Nation or other than those arising from the Buzz promotion. Effective immediately, Nation is permanently canceling Buzz and other rave events. Now, of course, our investigation and the buzz cancellation are causing some mixed emotions across the district today. Fox 5's Will Thomas continues our team coverage now with that part of the story. Will.
Tracy, now that Nation has permanently canceled all rave events, the Friday night lines here may not look quite the same for some time. You see, typically about 10 o'clock, the lines would reach all the way to the back door where I started, along the sidewalk, and around the corner to the front door. And it's evidence that not what they used to be. They're not quite so underground, and it may explain why so many ravers called Fox 5 after the story aired to say there's another side to the rave culture you need to know about.
I certainly know that I and my friends don't go to bars to have loose hands and vacant eyes and do ecstasy.
More than 100 calls. A rave website defending the parties and condemning our investigation. And fax machines spitting out a steady flow of comments. This one from a 47-year-old Laurel woman who introduced her daughter and her daughter's friends to the rave scene. You sent this to us?
Yes, it's a letter that I sent to Fox because I was very upset about the coverage.
Mary Morris wants to offer another point of view.
I go and I dance and I can feel my serotonin levels rising and I feel so good. A safe, nonviolent environment that, we can go and have a great time and go home, feeling really happy.
But our hidden camera video shows drug use and DC police officers who appear to be ignoring it.
And I just don't think they were paying any attention. They weren't doing their job.
And I don't think there's any response until there's some publicity. So the publicity made them respond.
I think it's important to hear both sides. It's not fair.
The fact that you're in uniform.
You already heard Chief Ramsey respond. But what about the ravers? Brian and Keegan were so discouraged with our portrayal of the rave scene, they showed up at Fox 5 to set us straight.
But there's a lot more to it. I think it has a lot to do with the music.
I've seen people get hauled out, and I've seen people overdose on drugs. And, it's sad, it's scary to watch. And they're kids. That's basically what it is.
Night here at Nation, but of course, as you know now, it has been canceled. Advance tickets went for $25 a piece. We're told refunds will be offered. We're live in Southeast. I'm Will Thomas. Tracy, back to you.
Hey, Will, tell me more about that 47-year-old mom that you interviewed. How did she get involved in the rave scene?
Yeah, Mrs. Morris says she's as surprised as all of us. It turns out a coworker turned her on to the rave scene. She says it's given her a chance to build her self-esteem, believe it or not, through the music and to share a creative outlet with her daughter, Tracy.
All right, Will Thomas, thank you for that live report. Now, this Fox 5 investigation is sparking reaction from all over. The chairman of the D.C. Fraternal Order of Police has a strong opinion about the fallout. Hear what he has to say live tomorrow on Fox Morning News. Mike?